Hi friends, welcome to tonight's live. Whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I'm so glad you're here. I'm Anne Lewis, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based on the beautiful Sunshine Coast. And tonight I'm sharing a project I absolutely adore. Now wait a minute, let's swap over and so you can see me. Sometimes I'm a little shy, obviously. No, I'm not. But I forget to show what I actually look like. So you actually know who's chatting with you tonight. Now, tonight I'm using what I believe is the most innovative Stamping Up product of 2025. I know, really big call, but I really believe this, and I love it every time I play with it. It's the Extraordinary Flora Washi Tape. And I'll just show you how versatile it is tonight. And I'm going to show you a way of using it that you probably haven't seen before. Well, I hadn't seen it before I had a go at it and experimented with it to see if I could make it work. I'll be walking you through how to create a bookmark and a matching card set. Love the card as well. And my card isn't actually normally how my cards turn out because they're normally crisp, clean. I don't like saying simple because I complicate everything, but still relatively simple, I suppose you could say. Not tons of layers, but some layers. So if you're joining live, leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Let me know what you think the best Stamping Up product is at the moment. If you're watching on replay, welcome as well. Be sure to drop a comment even though you're on replay because I still see it and I will always reply to it. If you haven't already subscribed to either my Facebook page or my YouTube channel, do so now so you don't miss out on any of the fabulous lives coming up because I love sharing creativity with you and I love making it very easy for you as well. Now, let's go back to the desk so I can actually show you what we're making tonight and show you a different sample so you can see what the difference is. And I've probably changed this up again from, or you change things up. You make something and especially when you're creating it and you have no idea how it's going to turn up. When you make one, you then go, oh, I could do this a little better. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Glenda. Now, so this is my card, and I learned a few lessons out of doing this, and I'll share those with you to save you some time and effort and make your card look stunning. So this is the Extraordinary Flora Washi Tape that I've used here. And I've made a card, and it's a slimline. Well, it's a kind of slimline card because it's not that slim. It's kind of like me, not that slim, but it's in a slimline fashion. It's too big for our standard card envelopes. However, it is perfect for what we call a DL envelope, a business size envelope. So it just fits in there. So it's very easy to get business size envelopes in Australia, and especially from like a place like Officeworks, but even the dollar stores have them. Well, not that they're the dollar stores anymore, but you know what I mean. The cheap shops. So that's what I will be using to send this envelope. It does have a little bit of thickness, so don't send this one overseas. I've learned my own lessons is it will go in Australia because it will fit through. And I don't know whether you know this little trick, but just in case you haven't seen me do it before, and maybe this is going to disprove what I'm saying, because this is 2 layers high and a little over 2 layers, to be honest. If you can fit it through that little space in your trimmer, which I can't, so this is going to cost you a little more to send. It will cost you double, which will be $3.40 in Australia because the new pricing has just come in of $1.70 per stamp. So as it's an unusual size, it'll go up to $3.40, unless you're a senior, which you then get a discount. However, this might be, if that's too much for you, it might be one of those cards that you hand deliver. But if this, let's just grab this piece of paper. As this goes through, that is exactly the size. Well, it's not exactly the size, but you will know that it is a standard card base. So that's one little nifty trick. Now, I actually got from Australia Post the official measurement tool, but this one works pretty darn well. Righto, leave some comments. Let me know what you like. But let's get started. Oh, no, before I start. So inside this card, I've actually put a little holder for my bookmark. And I've just decorated the inside. So I've kept it really simple. I've changed this up. I've changed my colors a little bit. And I want to show you this bookmark. And it's sealed on both sides. So it's safe. It can get wet. It's a great bookmark. And how pretty is that? Now, this was my original one that I had to play with. So this one, actually, I've put this one. Sorry, I just cut the stickers, cut the washi tape to make them into stickers and you just use them as stickers. I didn't back them. This one I backed with cardstock, and you can see that this one is a more watercolor wash. This one jumps out a little more. You can see I made a supersized bookmark, which is still okay. This was kind of my play. So I wasn't sure exactly what I was doing, so I wanted to experiment, but I do like this as well. I'll use this, give it as a gift to somebody. Now, I'll bring these back. Everybody's loving. I'm just clicking on. I can now learn how to click on your comments and actually make them show up. So you can see everybody likes this washi tape. Yeah, let's get started. And I'll do the card. Will I do the card first? No, I'll do the super duper bookmark first. Now, I've got to, this is a little tricky because I'll show you, I've just walked away from the desk because I've got to plug something in. And I'll show you how I did this. And hopefully this is okay. Now, what I actually used to make this bookmark was I actually used some laminating patches. Now, you could use full-size ones. You could use small ones. Now, I went to I'd got these from Aldi ages ago and I hadn't used them, so it was the perfect use of them. And I also got an Aldi laminating machine. They're super cheap. And so this is, you can see, the same size. I actually thought I used the bigger one than that. I know, that's it. I think. Yep, must be what I used. Anyway, so it has they fold over, and when you put them through the laminating machine, they actually seal to become shiny and look gorgeous like this. So now all I have to do is first job is, oh, wait a minute, I should show you what the washi tape looks like. So it comes in a big roll like this, and I've been told, haven't counted them out, that there's over 60, I don't know what you'd call it, but a set of, like, that's one set. So comes with dies, and I'll show you the dies. Comes with a stamp set as well. So these are the dies. So there's 60 cutouts of these dies in a roll. Now, to be honest, I have used a fair bit. Now, there's another really good tricky bit about this I've done, and that is I'm thinking, I haven't tested it yet because I used the big one today, but I can actually use my mini cut and emboss. And I'll show you why I think I can, because it just fits in like that. And you know, my wrist is back really sore again, so I'm having trouble using any of the machines. Now, I'm going to put that out of the way. And I have a piece of scrap paper here. Just got to make sure I use the right one. Now, I have included, this is the right one, I have included in the description the measurements for this card. But, so I want to use this, but this is for the bookmark. So now, look, I just cut this up. I was going to use this first, but I changed my mind because it comes in two different color schemes. And now, yes, there is a trick to getting this nice and non-bubbly. Now, what I do is I just use my bone folder. Doesn't always work, and it never works live, so let's be honest about that. So you can see I've just put it on some basic white cardstock, and so it gives it a little bit of structure so it doesn't fold and bend and stick. Now, because I need this to go through the cut and emboss machine, my cardstock is a little big. Well, let's cut this down. I should keep that. Grab my mini cut and emboss machine. Oh, now I'm jumping around a little bit, I know. This is one of Stampin' Up's old embossing plates, right? So works for 3D embossing folders, but it's an old one. And they brought out a new version, which is grey. If you've got this one, be very careful with it. I've learnt the hard way because I have a stone bench top, and I was crafting on the bench top, and I left this sit on the stone bench top. Somehow some water got spilled underneath this, which I didn't realize, and this sat in water on the bench top, and it stained my white stone bench top. So be really careful with this one. If you've got the grey one, don't do what I did and use the purple one. You don't need to. Idea. So let's grab this. This is the die that it comes with. There's only one die that comes with it. Here's my sheet, and I'll show you how to line this up. I'm just looking for my plates at the moment. So this is one of those dies that the flatter the plates you're using, the better. So I have number 1, I have number 2, and I need another number 2. So I'll use this one. I've got some new ones. Mine's a little crooked, so we'll see how it goes. Now, there it is on the basic white cardstock. Now I've just got to line this up. Now, the biggest trick with this is lining it up and having it not move. And you want it to line up right through, not just some bits, all bits. All right. I think this is going to fit on. Yep, it's going to be right. I'm not cutting on that. I'm cutting on this. I don't know. Let's see how we go. Now, if you're concerned, you can see, I'll just shift that out of the way for a second. You can see it does sometimes, because I've used this a lot and it's started to bend a bit, that you just may have to use some tape to tape it down. That's up to you. Sometimes I find it works really easy, and then other times it's a little hard. So I'm going to use, I've got some low tack tape sitting in here somewhere. Now, there is a downside to this. And as my die is a little bent. This is not going to like sticking too much. So where's my plate? I'm going to put that on. I'm happy with how it's going to cut it out, I'm hoping anyway. Let's feed this through. You can see it fits. And this mini is so much easier for me. Hi, Glenda. She's watching from Western Australia. She's a Queenslander, but she's doing lots of grey nomading, or nomading anyway, around Australia. So here we go. I'm just going to peel this off. Makes it. Well, I don't need to, but I will. And I think they've all popped out. So you end up with that, and you can see it's looking pretty good. It's a little off, not perfect. But we won't notice that once we start putting this in. So let's tip them off. Get rid of that. Now here's my laminating pouch. I'm going to just turn these over. Yeah. Kind of have a little play with this, but you can see I've got a few holes in here that I may want to fill in this time. You can make it as wide as you like. I'm going to, I don't know what this one was. This was a pretty good size. So this is probably 2.5 inches. Going to do it a little wider than 2.5, maybe, just because I want that a little border that I can cut if I need to. So we're just going to open this up. I'm just checking my laminating machine over there that is heating up. Now you can see this sticks up a little bit, but there's no great secret. I leave a little gap because I want that. Where's my? I want to put a bow on it. And you can arrange this. There's no great art to it, to be honest. And it would be a little better if it was on a coloured background. Have I got any coloured paper here? And you'll see why I say that. See how much easier it is to see if you put it on a coloured background? I'm just going to arrange these roughly. I'm not going to spend hours and hours on this. I do want some flowers. Oh, actually, oh no, it's okay. I was going to use the other colour palette, which is more of a mauvey. I know for those who know me know that I don't use mauve very often. We need some flowers down the bottom here, don't we? I will put that up. Now I kind of learned you don't want everything running up and down. It does look a little better. And this brings a strange colour scheme in that one, but I'll balance it up here somehow. You can see I've got just a little bit of room at the top. Would be a little easier if I was using, let's just, I want another flower here. Oh, I don't, I want one of those. But you don't have to get too carried away here. I like this one. It's my favourite. So let's squish it in a little bit. I was going to look for my tweezers tonight, but I didn't. I got some. Here we go. These will work. Because I don't have that great dexterity with my fingers since I had the accident. I know. Now I've got some little flowers here that can fill some gaps. Oops. So they're kind of my gap fillers. And around the edge, you need a tiny, tiny border, which sticks it together. Now, if they do overlap, truly, it's not the end of the earth, but it's not my preferred, not my preference. So I've got a couple more little flowers here. It's getting a bit crowded, isn't it? Always have a couple left over. So, so there we go. I've got a little border around everything. This one needs twinking a bit. So right around the border, I've got just enough to hold it together. So that's how it now looks. Except I just shifted everything, but you get the idea. So I'm going to I'm hoping it's not too hot. In fact, it was on cold. So I'm just going to bring this over, and it only just stretches. So all I have to do, I just need this to heat up. So I'm going to tidy this up for a second while this heats up. And wait a minute, just going to put this back. Now, it does come with a stamp set as well. Now, I could have actually stamped an outline in black. I probably would pick black around this, and that would even make it stand out a little more. I'll just show you this. Wendy says she's not the pink. And I'm kind of the same on this. Just clearing up. It's not ready yet, so I'm just going to have to give it a second. I'm just going to roll this up. I'm going to, just while that heats up, so I don't waste your time, I'm bringing this, so I'm going to move over to the card. And I need to, where is my card? I think it's under here, isn't it? No. I've lost my sample card. How could I do that? Oh, here it is, over here. All right. So what I did was add a little bit of pink blending, shading, just to take it off the white. And you hear me say it all the time. I'm not that keen on lots of white space. That's one of my design preferences. Now, to get this to so I can do it without actually bringing out the glass mat, there is another option. I can get a blending brush. I'm just using an old Stamparatus plate, but you could use a piece of glass, whatever. But the glass mat is the best option, but it's too big when I've got all this on the desk. So I'm just loading up. This is bubble bath. I'm making sure it is bubble bath. So I just want to put it over here so I get that nice smooth run in. It's a light colour, so it's going to take a little bit to build colour up. Now, how I've coloured the back of this, you don't have to be perfect. It's not a really smooth. I obviously need a bit more ink on. I should have re-inked this, but that's okay. Now we're getting a bit. If you don't get it perfectly smooth, this is not the one that's going to worry you. And I like techniques that if you don't get it perfect, you will still look good. And in fact, this one looks a little more interesting if it wasn't smooth, more perfectly smooth. I know that has just happened, so but we'll keep on going on this. It's just heated up now. As I said, I thought it was heating up before, but I only had it on cold. So I've just added a little bit of pink. Not a lot. I'm hoping you can see that. It's not super smooth. Just to add one little bit more. I know it rocks the camera just a little bit. I know. So I've just added that. Now I'm going to put that aside again. Put that aside. And let's slide this through. Whoop, I don't. Now, the way I do it, now see I've got a little border around each, which will keep it sealed. I'm just going to slide it in. Oh, now I've moved that a little bit. That's okay. It'll grab it. I've moved that a little bit, but you'll get the whoa. I failed the test that I was telling you. And you'll see what happens here. I just had to shift it so it wouldn't hit the light. And I don't want my fingers burned. It doesn't take very long. It's just coming out the back now. And when it comes out, it's nice and solid. So it's got, see how it kind of flicks? It's not that soft plastic anymore. I know. So there it is. It's done. I'm going to turn this off before I have a fire. No fires in crafting night. So you can see how I've got that to go. Now, I don't want to cut this one down any further, but I do want to add some rounded corners. Now, there is that I have found, and I have a lot of options, I have found no corner rounders that cut laminating corners. Now, the Stampin' Up punches do as well. I think this is a crocodile, is it? A crocodile, yep, does as well. So if you've only got Stampin' Up corner rounders, got to say they just work just as well. Now you still got to get your scissors and just trim it around this. I'm doing this fast. I know. Get those off the desk. Oh, I had a couple of little pieces left over. Okay, so I want to add something at the top. Now I also got, I went to my old tools here and I'm just going to grab a pencil. I want to add 2 holes up the top here, kind of centered. So I'm just using my grid paper to have a bit of a go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 4.5. So I'll put a hole here and a hole here. You can do this on lots of different things. And I'm using this for my hole punch. Now I know Stampin' Up, well, they've had lots of hole punches over time. And there's a little tiny one. I'm having trouble seeing this. I've got so much stuff in there. Just, yeah, that's better. We've had a lot of retired ones. Where are we? About there. See, this does it really easy. I know. So you can see my 2 little holes that I've punched there. I'm going to grab some twine. You'll understand why I do this in a second. Makes it a little easier. Actually, I think I've got these. I did this differently last time. Should have put them long ways, but you'll understand. Now I'm going to leave that loose for the moment. Then I've got some white ribbon. Didn't have any bubble bath, so I'm just going to, I've slipped that under that twine. Now I do have these little cute clips that are perfect for this, just to hold the twine a little tight. And then I'm going to, this is different ribbon than what I used before. And so it's got one side that is the right side and one side that's the wrong side. So I'm just doing that. I'm not tying a bow this time. I don't think I tied a bow on any of them, actually. And I've just got a little photo here. There's my big scissors. Now, because I put those holes in the wrong direction, just tell you that now, I'll use some glue dots to hold this into place. There's always a fix when something doesn't go as you expect. Oops. I know. So my glue dots. I'm just going to stick one under here to hold that in place. And one under here to hold this in place. And you wouldn't know that I didn't get it absolutely perfect. And I just have to trim this up to make it even. And there's a bookmark that'll last forever. And then if you want to, because you want some little strings hanging out, you can tie this off. And then just have them hanging out. Or you can tie them off and have them disappear, whatever suits you. I don't know. So there's a little bookmark. How easy was that? How much fun was that? As craft, I'm sure we have a stash of tools that will work exactly. I have maybe hold the cardstock under it to support it with a bit of, yeah, and that's what I should have done, except I was worried about it hitting the other end and got distracted. You're 100% right. Okay, so there's the bookmark. It's a little wider than the first one, so it's a good comparison. I can find the first one. So this one's a nice chunky one. This one's a nice and slim one. So you can get to choose the width that you actually want. Now, let's go back to this card. So I've got my already blended bubble bath blended. Now, I don't want it too boring. And let's go. Just bring the card back over. So you can see I added some Lost Lagoon. Some Lost Lagoon flicking on the back on the background. Now the way I did it, because you can see I've added a fair bit. Let's have a look. A fair bit of Lost Lagoon water splash, or whatever you call it. So I'm just going to add on here on a block because it cleans off really easy, and that's way too much, but that's okay. I'm getting one of my old, I have one that I use for any colors, and I'm just adding some water. So it's a one of our retired watercolor water painters. Now I'm getting the lid of my water painter, and I'm just going to flick it. Don't want it on that one, so let's get that out of the way. Now I left it on the plate just so it's really easy to clean up later. So it all comes out different sizes. Now I'll put this out of the way, hopefully. Put this out of the way, hopefully, so it doesn't make a mess anywhere. And then all I have to do is wipe this off with a rag, which I must have a rag sitting over here. So it's a lot easier. If I do it on here, it sometimes picks up a bit of colour. Now, I've included the sizing of these pieces of paper, but this is 3 5/8 by 6 inches. This is the width of cardstock, so 8 1/4 by 6 1/2. So this will eventually go on there. Now, before I get too carried away, I need to bring my card back so you can see what I'm doing. So I chose an arch. Now, on this card, I actually used the foam strips. And to get them around the corner, they didn't really like it. So I changed up my strategy. And this time I used foam sheets and die cut it with the cardstock. So let's just show you what I did. Hopefully I can find all the pieces. I just cut out a piece of bubble bath cardstock, which was like this. This is before I die cut it. Doesn't actually want to go back in there. Yeah, there it does. So it was just a piece of cardstock. I added a sheet of the foam to the back, peeled it off, stuck it on, ran it through the die cutting machine a couple of times, and I used these dies here. Now, to get an arch like this, now I can use these other pieces on other projects, so I'm going to put them aside for later. And sometimes I just design a card just for some of the scraps on my desk. I think it's these two that this is. So all I've done is used 2 dies, one to cut out the outside, one to cut out the inside, made sure that they were even, and it was a really easy job. And I then don't have that issue with trying to bend a straight piece of the foam adhesive strips. So you can see the foam adhesive strip sitting here. So now to get it to stick, all I have to do is pull off the backing and decide where I'm going to put this. As soon as I put this down, this starts to jump a little off the paper. It starts to look pretty special. So I think I'll just put it there. Before I get too carried away, I'm going to stamp the sentiment in Lost Lagoon. I've got hiding here. Now, the sentiment is Sending Warm Wishes, which comes from another stamp set. You could use any stamp for this, but I really like this as a generic gift card, I suppose, not in the traditional gift card. Sending Warm Wishes, I just thought was nice. Comes from the Notes and Totes stamp set, which I have yet to showcase, and I really have to. I mean, there's a little bit of, that's better. So let's stamp this on. Got plenty of room to do this. I will have a trial just to make sure it's going to work. Where will I put this? Over here. Just going to line it up so I can actually see it. There we go. I really like that sentiment. Now, I want to add some flowers. Now, I've already die cut the flowers exactly the same as I did before. This time, it's the purple blue story on this washi tape. As I said, there's 2 different colour schemes. One's a very pink, and the other one's this. This one jumps, especially when you have that pink arch. So let's just have a play of what might work. I like the idea of that coming along there. Love this one, and I spoke about that before. So put that one going up there. And then, what else have I got? Let's see what I've got here. Don't have to do it the same as the other one. I could put this maybe coming out there. No, maybe this one was the best one. So we'll put that there. Now, I did go back to using these are the strips, because the strips and the sheets are the same height. Don't get sucked in, because this is where it kind of unravels. You can see the difference in width, in thickness. So if you're using the sheets, you need to use these. These are not going to support it high enough unless you double it up, which is a possibility. But let's make this easy. I've got these somewhere else. I started a new sheet for some unknown reason. Now, you can see I want some in the corner there. Let's just cut some quick little pieces. I just need to build this up to support those flowers. So I just do some little pieces here. Let's have a look at how this, oh, it's this one. So I need maybe a little bit more up the top. Now, did I lose that? Oh, I hate this. Where did that little piece go? It didn't go on the floor. I just had it, didn't I? Anyway, so that's going to go up there. I had that really, really nice, here it is, piece here. So that's going to go there. And I need another little support over here. Is that it? I think that's it. Another little support over here. I know. Just take the backing of this. Now this is going to be fully supported by the frame, so I'll slip that in later. This truly is hiding. And then I'm going to add a little bit of multi-purpose glue along here. Perhaps that was a little more than I wanted to do. This piece is jumping away. So when I add something to a frame, I try and make sure there's none of that frame showing through. It looks a bit untidy. Then for this little leaf here, I'll attach it to the leaf. It's a little easier doing that on this one. And that's just going to sit there, like slide in under there, so it's right. Then we just have to add this, easy as, just run a really fine, you know I don't do fine well. The more glue, the better it is. It's the way this works in my life. So we'll just put that there and stick it on the flowers on the bottom corner under your hand. Thank you, Wendy. Sadly, I only read it then. Maybe take the, that's better. Yep. Righto. Then I'm going to add, see now I've lost another one. I've lost this flower. Oh, here it is, up here. So we'll add this one here and add a little bit. I could add, I do want this to be going in the right direction, so that always makes it a little harder. So we'll put this one underneath there. So again, I'm going to add just a couple of these. This won't take very long. Just put a little piece there. Might be a bit big. Easy to fix. There, add some glue. Put this down like that. Just wanna now, and then we're going to add this little one here. Again, I'm going to do it with glue. Too difficult. It just slides under. So you can see how easy it was to make that. Oh, I just changed the comment. I wonder how I do that. I don't know. Sorry about that. It doesn't hide. Maybe we try that. There we go. See, this is what happens when you try something new for technology. Now, my card base is over here. Now, because I know that this is fairly thick already, I'm not going to pop this up like I did my first version. Just going to glue it down. I used a bit too much in a few places. Okay. And then we have that. Still looks nice. I like the popped up version, but as I said, if Australia Post is not going to post it, that's not a good thing. Just get that nice and straight. Okay, on the inside, so I have my, here is my little bookmark, but I want to hold it in place. So I have a little piece of bubble bath that I have embossed with, just grab it, the pressed flowers embossing folder. So I just embossed it to make it look a little, can I look a little fancy? Now, I'm going to use some small, it's non-stamping up tape, but you could use glue, but this is a little easier, a little quicker to do. And I'll just put a little bit up the side to hold it into place. Just this is a quicker way. Now I could put another support halfway up on this. Actually, I do want to trim that down just a smidgen so it doesn't hit that score line on the center. So I did this 4 1/8, but it needs to be a little smaller so it folds in a little easier. Then we're going to put that in there. How good does that look? And then we're going to decorate this side. So I just used from the same stamp set, Notes and Totes. I just put just a note. Let's stamp it there. Got a little splatter on there, so let's hide that little splatter. Then I've got a whole lot of little pretty flowers here, so I can add what I like. I think I might add this one here because it matches this, but I've got all these blue tone ones as well. And this is how easy this card set was. Oh, here we go. Just a little decorator, and there we go. So there's the project for tonight. So you can see, same thing, stepped up a little bit, changed it up just a tad, and everyone will turn out a little different. But what a great gift that is, because send them a card, and I did this for my Christmas in July class as I did 2 gifts. I mean, you can break them up and split them if you like, but it's just the perfect one to send to someone in the mail where you want it a little extra than just a card. So I really like this. If you haven't enrolled for this Sunday's class, and this is one of the projects, you can do so online. Send me a message, and I've still got a couple of places. Oh, maybe 1 or 2, maybe 1, but we'll see. Thanks, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. And as I say, here's the washi tape. Mine is disappearing. Now, I did forget to say that it is available. Everything I've used tonight, except the crocodile, those big tools that I used, are available from my online store. But this is on back order. It keeps selling out because it's so popular. But it is back in on the 28th, which is next week. You can jump on my online store, leave a message, fill in a form that says you'd like to be notified by email. Find this product, then it gives you the option, because it's not available, to be notified when it does come in, so, which is a really great new feature of the online store. So when I started this, planning this, it was supposed to be coming this week, but it didn't. And that just is because, we're at the hands of shipping, which doesn't always go through customs at the same rate. Ideo. So that's it. I will see you next week. I am still. I've answered your question. I didn't know that I had, Wendy, but I am still in renovation nightmare. My whole house is kind of pulled apart. However, my craft table for classes is still clean and tidy, or it will be. And also, wait a minute, let's throw you back to me. And also my craft room. Whilst it's not clean and tidy, it's no worse than it normally is. So thanks, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Leave me comment that you've been watching, and also if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button both on YouTube. And remember, Facebook is deleting all lives after 28 days, but on YouTube they stay forever. So it's far better if you watch on YouTube, leave comments, because then you can find that live so that you can make your own in a couple of weeks' time. Bye, everybody. Have a great week. I'm slowly getting to I've got another 6 weeks of renos to go. I might be a little insane by then. Right now, I'm a little insane already, but